Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar today. While we are still waiting for some of the attendees to arrive, just some of the housekeeping points. This is an interactive session, so you're very welcome to ask questions. To do this, just raise hand. You have this option in the control bar of your panel. And today's session will be dedicated to the topic of connected content, and we're really happy to start sharing this idea in the pharma marketing environment. This is one of the first sessions that we present this concept, and we're really sure that this will be able to make you forget about the conventional workflows and how you used to manage content in the past. So let us start. My name is Oksana Matvienko. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Viseven, and for over 10 years, Viseven has been dealing with the topic of multi-channel content for pharma and life sciences. We've done a lot of ways to optimize content creation, and the latest approach that we present today is connected content. And when we're thinking about content, it is already connected. And when we're thinking about in-depth, the content really and the context depend on our needs. For example, if we will be searching for the Bohemian Rhapsody song on the Apple Music, the way we really find this song will depend on why and what we need it for. For example, if we want to connect and to remember the great movie Bohemian Rhapsody and to recollect all of the great moments described, we will find it as a part of the original soundtracks album. If we want to deep dive into the old days of rock music, we will find this song as a part of the Night at the Opera album of 1975. And if we want to make the song a part of the city nightlife or a part of the culture to be able to engage with multiple audiences, we will be able to find this song and to represent this song as a part of the Christmas lights. And actually, this is the real photo of how Carnaby Market looked like this Christmas in London. So when we create content like anything, the channel, it only brings more context into why we create this content. And we should focus on the needs of our customers and our audience in order to satisfy them. That's why the channels they influence our perception of the information. And in our daily life and work, when we create a new slide or compose a new email, we think we are creating something new, something like completely new. But in fact, in most of the cases, this content already exists. And if we take a case study, for example, like each time we use it in a specific channel like email, slide, etc., we just wrap it up in a different color, and each time we do this, we give it a new life. But in its core, it is still the same content. We just insert it in a new channel, and that's why content, not channel, should come first. But before we start the process of really decoupling content from channels, we should understand what we have already in our inventory. We need to understand how our message performs and not just the channel. That's why my goal today is to tell you how to create new content by reusing what you already have. how to pull it together in a new way. And the first step in this way, in this journey, would be creating a content model. A content model represents the content and its relationships. A content model is a visual representation of the content types in a subject area, all their properties and relationships between them. What modules are connected, or what will happen if we change something, let's say on our website? Will this change be automatically applied throughout all of the pages that this item of content is being displayed? And we need to confess that not all of the marketers are sure if that's really possible. To create a good and useful content model, we need to collaborate cross-functionally across the organization, and really informed collaborative decision result in useful content model. When different stakeholders are involved, it zooms in and provides structure and connection between all those objects. And we're really sure how different modules of our content framework are connected. And then we are sure that if we make a change in one and a single module or object, this change will be automatically applied everywhere where we use this module. And of course, the content module will really also focus on what we actually publish. And so, as you see on this slide, it contains content design, meaning what our content consists of, what fragments are there, what modules, what channel-specific templates. How do we work with content, how we create, approve, and go live, and what rules and what factors impact the way our content is being used, like be it country rules or medical, legal, and regulatory rules, or maybe some channel rules. When we look deeper inside of this content module, like the smallest piece is a fragment. This is the multi-channel module, and it is being created just once and reused across of the different channel. What does it consist of? So you see, this module is not aimed to be used specifically in one or like this or more channels. So what's the multi-channel fragment? This is, as I said, it is the like one of the smallest pieces in the content module, and it is created in a channel agnostic way. What I mean is that it's not created especially for email or for an e-detailing presentation. It can be reused across of the channels in multiple templates. What is inside of the module? There is a key message like a core marketing statement. Plus, it contains supportive information like references, graphs, and media. And the relationship inside of the fragment are being managed by business rules. For example, what should we use inside of the fragment? How it will look on the email? Let's say if there is a pop-up or something like this. So all of these aspects are now being ruled by the business rules. And let's imagine that we want to reuse this fragment while we are creating some of the marketing materials, let's say an email. In the email, we have a template. So these are channel-specific templates where these content modules can be inserted into. Here we have some basic elements of the email. Let's say this header with a link and global branding materials, and a footer, which is like a regular part of the email. But inside of the email template, we have special placeholders where users can insert the fragments, and where they're all also managed by the business rules. For example, the business rule might say, use K-message A only with K-message B, or the K-message A should not be used with K-message C. In this way, we really help marketeers to assemble content efficiently within a template. And of course, when we have a template, it should follow specific rules, like in order to be reused across of the different countries or brands. The template should be unique. It should be experimental and bring thought leadership. It should be compelling. For example, it should tell a story and have pleasant design. It should be, of course, valuable in order to meet the needs and add value to a specific channel. Relevant in timing, in the audience, in the format. So also in the time when we use this template. Consistent, to cater brand identity across brands and regions, and of course accessible, because it should be easy to find, it should be loading really fast, and it should have a good layout and linking and be internet and device friendly. If your template corresponds to these requirements, it would be definitely reused by the countries and regions. But how do we find this template? The greatest pain of the modern marketeer sometimes is really to identify, to discover what can be reused. When we search, for example, a DAM solution, we have hundreds, even not hundreds, but thousands of search results. The goal of our connected content approach is to enable fast and seamless discovery of the reusable fragments and templates. Because all of our objects and content items have attributes and properties, and they should be always interconnected and impacted by the business rules. So if that condition is not kept, the reuse will be suffering. And when all these connections are set, we are sure that if we make a smallest change in the fragment, there will be guarantee that this change will be automatically applied to all of the channels. Of course, the organization of the content within a digital asset management system requires time and requires effort. So we need to build a sitemap to identify the correct relationship between the content and organize this library in a proper way. To organize these properties and the relevant relations and business rules that would enable marketeer to have, instead of hundreds of results after searching the DAM, only 10 or so, but they will be most relevant and most useful and suitable for a specific channel that he wants to create the content for. And to create this project, we need to rethink about the whole development process. Like the traditional way looked like this. when we created K-messages and then started preparing content for every channel separately. And sometimes it was even developed by different agencies. So we did design of the e-detailer, we did coding, we did approval, localization, and deployment. And the same steps were made for an email, where we designed email, we coded it, we approved and localized it by all of in the separate flows. And the more channels we had, the more was the number of this redundant work. How we think we can improve this process? With the modular content framework, the workflow really looks like this. We create the K-message, of course, is the creative part. We develop the multi-channel fragment that can be then reused across of the channels, and we approve it with MLR just once. And then when we assemble content within a channel, within a template, we use already approved modules. And here, of course, there can be some kind of a formal content validation, but it's not as painful as the regular MLR process since the modules are already pre-approved. And in this way, we achieve the goal of create once and publish too many. And here, what the process might look like, what the result will look like. We see there is one of the same fragments here in the slide of the e-detailer, in the newsletter email template, and on a micro website. So we just inserted that into a channel-specific template, but we didn't really need to redo it and redevelop it every single time. We just reuse one of the same module, one on the same message, but in different channels. And today, I'm really happy to present that the eVisert platform is already ready to support marketeers, their agencies in the process of creating these flexible modules and then assembling them in the template. No matter how you want to how you want to proceed, either you want to have your agencies as a part of this project, or you think that you can do it yourself on the country level. But eVisert already has professional channel-specific templates for email, for interactive presentations. There are already multi-channel fragments that are connected with the by meta tags and attributes that make the process of reuse really easy. And we already have the integration with the digital asset management platforms like Viva Vault Promomats, where you can run your regular approval process in Viva, but when you create your content, you will be already using your approved presentations and your approved modules. So today, preparing of this the switch to modular content framework can be done really easily, and you can reuse your modules in a really easy and proper way. You can easily find the assets that you need